everybody, welcome to the High Path Kitchen. If you're new, my name is Rosa, and we are a plant-based family of 7. Today we are doing a family weekly meal prep, weekly reset really, because we're going to get all of the food that we need prepped for the week done today. And I am going to have all of our kids help because last week, so if you want to watch last week what we did, we actually did our very first sort of weekly meal prep. Now, we didn't prep enough to kind of last all throughout the week. So this week, I am hoping to improve. I have written a list of things that we are planning to make this week. And then so let's just get into it. We have a lot of stuff to do. The girls are already working on bagels. We just got some groceries because I knew that I needed some more greens and fresh vegetables. And yeah, let's get into it. This week I am really focusing on some cheap vegan meals. So I've got some cans of beans that I purchased on sale. We're going to open those up, and we've also got some coconut milk as well. Can you rinse this off? Do we have greens first? Can you check to see if we have greens first? Because we have lots to do, I am trying to multitask, so I have all of my pots on my stove as much as I can fit. As I said earlier, the girls are working on some bagels already, and I am going to start working on a soup for Trey's dinner. So I'm just chopping up some potatoes, and in the background I have some mirepoix, which is onions, carrots, and celery in a pot. And I'm going to start seasoning this up and I'm going to start to develop some flavors. I also added some leftover vegetables from last week, so some cauliflower and some broccoli in the pot as well. Meanwhile, I've delegated some tasks to our oldest son, chopping up some onions and garlic, and I want to work on a sort of a chili in the background here. I have a range of beans that we purchased on sale. So we've got some like black beans, pinto beans, chili beans, any bean that I could find, I am putting in there. I am also having Israel work on a
Did you wash
dough
everything
for some
yet?
buns, so I'm just using our bread machine to knead our dough. I'm working on a couple of things here. So I've got some soup in this big pot for Trey's dinners. I've also got a pot with like a ton of different beans. I've got mirepoix, onions, carrots, and celery. We're gonna add this. We're gonna try to make this a multi-purpose type of soup or chili. Really, I'm gonna make a chili. So I'm going to add some smoked paprika, ancho chili powder for some smokiness, lots of smokiness. We're going to also add a can of crushed tomatoes. Just got a big, large can of crushed tomatoes going in. And so Grace is working on bagels right now. Israel's working another dough for our sloppy joes for later on. So we're just going to make some like hamburger buns. Emmanuel is working on onions and garlic. Some smoked paprika. Some onion powder, some other seasonings. I want to really focus on things that can be paired with like rice, paired with, just very simple things like that. Like the chili, we're going to do like a chili mac. So just everything needs to be multi-purpose, just in case we need to change anything. In this pot right here, we're making some Beyond bulgogi, which is basically a Korean meat that you eat with rice. It's so good. You add some sesame oil and some coconut amino, also some garlic and onions. It's so easy and so quick. All right, quick update here. So we've got Israel in the baking station. Emmanuel is actually working on a bulgogi, which is going to be so delicious and simple for a weeknight dinner, so to speak, with some rice and some kimchi. We've got the small one, Isaiah and Grace, is helping me chop some carrots and potatoes. We're going to use that for like a bake, I think, or maybe we'll do, we have to do a lentil sloppy joe type of sauce as well. So we're almost there.
Where's the potato? The water. Show us the potato that you say has black stuff.
What's that water for?
There's no hole.
Yeah, that's fine.
The bagels are out, and it's time to make a banana bread for some breakfasts this week. In another pot, we are starting another bean and Beyond beef dish. So we've just got some onions, garlic, beans, Beyond Beef, some canned crushed or diced tomatoes, and some coconut milk that is going to make it so nice and creamy. And we just eat this with rice. It's so good. Mercy and Israel, while they're eating lunch, they're going to start working on our chili mac. So this pot of chili, I thought that I would have extras, but I didn't. So we're just going to use all of it in our chili mac. We are layering this with some pasta that we just boiled, and this is going to be a really easy weeknight dish that is done, and we could just reheat it in the oven when we're ready to eat it. We are making sure that we are keeping up with cleaning, so this is our halftime break. We are going to do a bit of cleaning before we are ready to work on the next thing. Our creamy beans are ready to go, so we're just going to add it into a Tupperware. All of these, I don't like using Ziplocs as much as possible, so I just try to add everything in a Tupperware. We are making sort of a really nice ricotta mixture here. So we've got some boiled up cashews. You could soak your cashews. We boiled it so it's a little bit faster. We've also got a block of tofu. We're seasoning it with some salt. You can add like nutritional yeast, anything like that. And you can use this on maybe like a pasta bake, or you can actually just put it on some bagels, and it's so good. It's kind of like cream cheese. The way that you season it or make it cream cheese, you just have to add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of tang, so some lemon juice or some vinegar. Banana bread is getting a test and it is not ready, so let's keep it in there. Next thing I'm working on is we're just chopping up some russet potatoes. We are going to make some boiled potatoes for some shepherd's pie.
We are about halfway there, I'd say. I've got, now we're working on some mashed potatoes for like a shepherd's pie. I've got a very quick pasta here that we're gonna use for lunch. So I've got some rotini pasta and some broccoli that we're going to boil up. We're gonna blend it up a little bit and create sort of like a broccoli pesto. I think it's gonna be really delicious and a very simple lunch. Let's check up on our dough really quick. Okay, take that out, please.
We have been loving our bread machine because we use it really just to knead our dough, and we, shape it, hand shape it, and then we could bake it in anything that we want. So this dough is going to be made into some hamburger buns. I had the idea of making some really quick, easy lentil sloppy joes, and we're just going to sandwich it in our little hamburger buns for a quick lunch. I'm teaching the kids how to roll our little buns really nice and tight, and I will let them take control and they can handle the rest. Having the kids involved in this meal prep really helped out because I could delegate so many tasks so that we can get meal preps done way sooner. I have boiled some frozen broccoli here. I'm going to add some olive oil, some onions, and garlic. We are going to now just blitz it up with a hand mixer. And this is going to make a very simple broccoli pesto for a pasta. Initially, I would wanted to make some spinach pesto, but we don't have spinach, and so I just used some broccoli. It works perfectly fine. You can also add some peas. Oh yeah, I wanted to make some peas. I wanted to add some peas in this pesto as well, but I guess I ran out of peas too, so we just used some frozen broccoli. The kids love rotini pasta, so that's what I boiled up for our pesto pasta. And I just added some raw red onions, some fresh onions. It adds that little extra crunch and sweetness. It's perfect. Moving on to sort of a shepherd's pie mix. I've got some onions, carrots, celery in here. We're going to add some lentils that we've soaked overnight and some butternut squash. We season this up with some thyme leaves. You can add whatever else that you want, and I'm also going to add a can of crushed tomatoes, or this is some diced tomatoes. Meanwhile, our banana bread is finally done and it looks beautiful. Potatoes were boiling and they are finally done for our mashed potatoes. We are going to season this up, of course, so I like to just leave a little bit of that boiling water in here.
Taste it?
We're going to add some olive oil, some salt, and some seasonings.
Right now we're making the mashed potatoes for our shepherd's pie. We are almost done. Now, I feel like we've accomplished a ton in about like a couple of hours. I think we've only been in here for a couple of hours.
Yep.
We've also got some little buns that are proofing for, look at that.
Come on, you can show them.
Leave that alone.
Before we bake these buns, we're going to splash a little bit of water so that steam can help these buns bake up nice and poofy. All right, our lentils and squash mix is done, so we're just going to put it in a large 19 by 13 pan, and then we are ready to top it with some mashed potatoes. As you can see, Mercy is really defending these mashed potatoes from Isaiah trying to stick his hands in there. Good job, Mercy. We had some leftover cheese and the kids decided they wanted to put some ketchup on here. Cool, shepherd's pie is done. Last but not least, we are working on some lentil sloppy joes. So we are using the last half of our soaked lentils in here. We are going to add a little bit of water and some seasoning. So originally I wanted to make this sort of tomato based, but we didn't have the crushed tomatoes and I didn't want it to make it too tomatoey. So we're adding some ketchup, adding some water and some seasonings. This only needs to cook for about 5-10 minutes and it's done.
Guys, we did it. We finally completed our task for today. I feel like we are missing like maybe a couple of items on our meal plan, but you know what? That's okay. I feel like this is going to help tremendously and we will just have to cook like a couple of things, which isn't bad at all. And we will have lots of leftovers from each meal. I definitely feel like. So we thank you so much for joining us today on our meal prep. We are going to update you whether or not maybe next week. Let's just see if everything covered us for the week.
California dreaming.
Babe. Alrighty guys, I hope that you enjoyed spending time with us today. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will catch you on the next video. If you're new, we would love to see you subscribed and see you next time. Bye everybody.
Bye. Why did you turn into a ball?
Ball.